Ladies and gentlemen, well, we're here. We're here. It's on. You might as well go ahead and share now. Go ahead and let people know that the OGs are in the building. We are here. We're ready to rock. As we all prepare now for when things start to get just a little bit serious in Dallas Cowboy land, as we approach OTAs, mandatory, I may add, mandatory, keyword mandatory, which means that there are a lot of questions that probably are now going to be answered, things that you've been wondering about for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. It won't be no speculation no more. We about to find out. And here to talk about all this and other things, I got my brothers with me. The OG podcast would not be complete at all if these two guys were not with me. You see them already in the top left of your screen. The one and only Cowboy Joe is in the house. Put your hands on it. You might as well put your hands on it. I mean, he's electrifying. Cowboy Joe electrifying. Look like he got something to say already. And I already know. I don't know what he's gonna talk about, but it's coming. And get ready for it. That's all I can tell you. Because it ain't nothing gonna be sugarcoated over here. So get ready for it. Ain't no telling what we're gonna talk about. Y'all need to share all this. And right below me and him is the glue. That's his nickname. The one and only, the man himself, B Bird in the house.
What's going on, people?
Y'all better clap y'all hands over here. Yeah, what's going on? It's good. It's good. It's good. We're in the building, and of course, I'm big time, and hey, we here. Let's go ahead and just go on, kick this thing off. I got a feeling it's gonna be a little funny show today. I do. I don't know what these guys want to talk about. They don't know what I want to talk about. But we're here for it, and we finna go on and get loose real quick. It's about to get serious. The excitement levels in the air. I just want to know how y'all getting excited. Monday is almost here. Just in case y'all don't know, look, OTA start Monday. It's about to get serious. I'm excited about it. What's going on to the chat? Listen, share, hit the like button, smash the like button. Let everybody know we're here. Share it if you can. I'll tell you something, guys, a little bit later on. I haven't been with you guys. I think I came earlier this week. But I'll tell you about the raffle here, since y'all are here. Some of you guys are here. I'll tell them about that. Well, I'll tell you now. Y'all don't mind, brothers?
Go ahead.
And I'll say it again a little bit later on. Listen, I got a raffle going on my show. I'm going to be selling the people voted. They wanted a CD Lamb jersey. A CD Lamb jersey. I'm raffling it off. If you want to enter in, it's $5 per entry. So you can see my name there. That's why I got it up there. It's $ the Big Time Show. If you want to do it by Cash App, if you want to do it by Super Chat, if you're on YouTube, you can do that right now by just hitting the Super Chat button. I'll see it here on the screen. But make sure it's $5 if you want to enter in. If you do 20, they give you 4 entries in. You can do that, and we'll go with it from there. If you're on Facebook, you probably need to do if you're going to use the stars, just make sure it's equivalent up to $5. But if you want to make it easy, go to $ the Big Time Show. You can do that right now. So that's enough of that for that. Just remember that most of you guys are on my show now. Y'all already know about it, but it's there for you. All right. Joe, you're on the dance floor. I don't know what you really go with.
Hey, so what I'm gonna start with is the room I'm in. You guys can see my background. So right behind me, I got a commemorative Drew Pearson painting up here that he signed to my right, and then on this wall right here. So I got the Dallas Morning News and the Dallas Times Herald, the front page of every Super Bowl the Cowboys have won. That's what's on this wall over here. But the reason I mention all of this is because on the other wall, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up my '88 wall with Drew, Dez, Michael Irvin, and CD. You know, I was kind of wondering if I needed to get a CD jersey. You know, put him up there with the other '88s. I want to get y'all thoughts on that.
Hey, he's all pro.
Is he on his way?
Hey, he ain't been in the league long. He's a 2-time all pro. He's a multiple time Pro Bowler. He just ain't won a World Championship yet. Like he's have. That's the only thing.
Well, Dez ain't won it either, though. So.
Well, yeah, Dez.
Yeah, so that qualifies. I mean, Dez one of my favorite players. So I ain't.
You know,
Dez ain't done nothing.
Man,
I'm just kidding.
Dez, so Drew was my all-time favorite player. Drew and Robert Staubach.
That's mine.
I had to put Dez in that group. But yeah, it's man, yeah, we gotta talk about this thing that's coming up Monday. Is he gonna make it? Is Pickens gonna be at this mandatory training camp situation. What are they calling it? What is the name of it?
Is it OTAs?
OTA.
Mandatory OTAs. So we gotta see what's happening with Pickens. I hadn't heard anything, so we'll be watching, Sunday and Monday because everybody's gonna be covering it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think he's gonna be there. So we probably got to talk about what kind of percentage we putting on him, but we can talk about what we're hearing about what's going on with Pickens and.
Can I change your question?
Yeah.
Cowboy Joe. And let's make it personal. And I think this will fit the chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the question is, will he be there? Because if he's there, if he shows up, he's gonna disappoint a few Cowboy fans. Because there are some that don't want him to show up. And then you got some that want him to show up and are gonna be, on the opposite side of the fence. So my question is, Joe and Chat and B Bird, I just kind of change it up. Like, do you want him to show up?
I do want him to show up.
And why?
I just think that first of all, let's just kind of go back. This really shouldn't even be an issue. His contract should already be done. So let me say that. So that's I just think that if we can just get everybody on the same page, have no drama, get everybody in camp that we need. Like I said on our show last week, I think we can take a run at this thing, but any kind of drama that's created by Jerry in the front office, it's not going to be good for the team. Now, can he, do a holdout and not go to camp and all of that? He can do that, but it's not going to be good for the team. He shouldn't have to do all of that. He should have a contract in place right now. And one of the things we got to talk about, there's two trains of thought on this thing. And I listened to Henny last night with Boss, and shout out to Boss. Condolences with his dad passing away. So shout out to him and his family. But man, I just believe that there is a way you can keep CD and Pickens on this roster. You can do it. Now, will you have to sacrifice some other areas of your team? You can do that. But they've had 30 years of doing this thing where they just, they don't put a full team together. So let's change it up. Let's do something different. And it might work. But yeah, I think he needs to be there. I would prefer that he be there with a contract, to answer your question.
But he does have a contract. He signed a franchise.
I'm talking about a long-term deal.
I feel you on that. I'm just throwing that in. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, B-Bird.
So I want y'all to name me another front office that can say, we're going to sign Pickens we're going to keep him we're going to franchise tag him, let him play through the franchise tag, and we're not even going to even negotiate with him. Name another GM that can get away with that.
There is one.
More in here, B-Bird. Yes.
Now let's talk about this. Let's even go to other sports that said we're not even going to talk to their agent. You can't do it unless you're the owner / GM, unless you can't lose your job. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to say this every time. I sound like a broken record. But a lot of things that the Cowboys front office do is because they have no repercussions behind it. They can do these things. So back to Pickens, though. So if he shows up, it kind of doesn't necessarily mean anything because he can hold in, right? He can be like, I signed my contract. I had to be there. I don't want to get fined. Right? He could be there just like, hey, my hamstring tight or something like that. Mm-hmm. This whole Pickens thing doesn't need to happen. But what you have to do with this, you can get them both signed. What you have to do is put the money in the future, right? And you have to risk a little bit of your future. This is what teams like Philadelphia have done. They've risked their future, but I want y'all to hold that right there. They risked it because they put a lot of money, contract money in the future, and they get guarantees, bigger guarantees, and they spread it out. So they get a lot of players right now. Now in 2030, it might be lean for them, but the cap does what every year? It goes up. So the Cowboys don't necessarily do that. Like they could have a $15 million cap hit for Pickens this year, and that's nothing, right? For him and CD to play together. Yeah, but it's going to go up later on. But we'll worry about that later on. We're trying to win now. But since they know they're going to be here in the next 15 or 30 years, they don't do that. Like that's what the issue with the Cowboys is that they don't, because of the way they're structured in the front office, they have no one that makes big decisions that have a sense of urgency. Now back to Pickens, he's in a tough situation, to be totally honest with you. I can tell y'all this. The prove it people, y'all do not listen to the Joneses. That young man has proved everything he needs to prove as a football player. The reason why I say that, because next year, y'all, they not going to sign him again. It'll be the same thing. And I'm going to tell y'all, man, they do not want to sign him to a long-term contract because, hey, they don't want to pay two guys $35, $36 million a year. They just don't want to do it. And what they're falling back on this year is, hey, you need to prove it again. That's just their fallback because they have no other reason not to pay him. They will. And people are like, well, if he plays well, I'm telling y'all right now, I can't. My ears hurt when they say this. Well, if he plays well this year, he's gonna get a contract next year. Says what? And says who? No, nothing says that. They could do the same thing again. So, hey, prove it a third time. So I'm gonna tell you that the way they treating and when people say this is good negotiation, good business, it's not good business because it depends on what product you get. If you're gonna get an unfocused Pickens, if you're gonna get disgruntled Pickens for $27 million against your cap hit, that's not good business. Y'all acting like it's a car. It is not. Y'all act like it's a business. It's not a business. It's a human being with feelings. And so you have to watch how you treat these players, man. And the Cowboys have done a bad job of treating these players like they're the enemies in negotiations. And it's not like that. Again, another broken record. Look at the dignity that the Texans show with Will Anderson Jr. It's because that GM knows that this is a franchise player. And I can't treat him no any kind of way. Why? My job hinges on these guys. And so if Pickens shows up, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, y'all. I know he's disgruntled, right? Because if he had signed a multi-million-dollar contract that he's happy with, he'd have been at the involuntary stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he's, whatever he shows up, nobody's going to be happy about getting franchise tag when you can get way more money than that if you get it guaranteed up front. So I think money is a big day just to kind of see how he plays it. But that's the only thing we're looking at.
My thing is that what I will never understand. I think I understand why he did it, but it backfired on him. And I'm talking about he signed the franchise tag way too early. He gave up the only real leverage that he had. For instance, had he not signed it, he wouldn't be obligated to show up Monday because he's not under contract. He is under contract because he signed the tag. So the $27 million that he's getting this year, that's under lock and key. If he does not show up on Monday, the team has the right to fine him and take money away. That's why things are going to be interesting. Personally, if you ask me, do I think he's going to be there? I think he should, but I wouldn't blame him if he didn't show up.
Yeah, because
I'm sorry. Look, why should I be good to you when y'all don't want to be good to me? That's my point.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. He's an all-pro. He did his job. It's not his fault. He's a Pro Bowl wide receiver. You knew what was going to happen once he hooked up to a good quarterback, and the expectation probably is going to be that he's going to have somewhat of the same kind of year again, but it'll be a little bit on a lesser degree because, of course, Pickens' numbers really exploded when CD went down. But if CD is there, you figure that the numbers will go down from what he had, but that don't mean that he's still not one of the best receivers in the game. He is one of those. I mean, it just ain't no question about that. I just hate that he gave up all his leverage. That's the part that I'm saying. I know why he did it because he probably and Mullighetto probably was trying to figure out what his value was as far as a trade goes. If he can negotiate a trade or whatever, but what he found out was nobody was going to pay him everybody keep throwing the number out, but nobody knows what Mulligetta was asking for. But a lot of people saying, way above what he's getting paid now, obviously. Some people were saying $40 million and all that type of stuff, trying to reset the market. Nobody was offering that. Nobody. And so what he done found out is that he fell right back into the hands of Jerry. Now, okay, we ain't got to match nothing because there's no contract here to match. So you fall right back now to this franchise tag. And so we'll quickly say, that's why Steven jumped up there and said, hey, he's going to play on the tag and we're not negotiating any further. Now, the Cowboys do lie. They do lie. That part could be interpreted as a way of negotiating as well. When he said that, I heard Jerry Jones say in the Zach Martin instance when he held out, I heard Jerry Jones say he's already under contract. We're not gonna do nothing. We're not gonna renegotiate. He got 2 years left on his deal. And when Zach didn't show up, they renegotiated everything and let him skip the line. And Zach Martin was the highest paid guard again in the league. So they do lie. And they will put stuff out there like that. But it's just gonna be interesting to see. And if I'm George, and I don't want to say this, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want y'all people to start, because y'all gonna have an attitude if George show up and then all of a sudden he got tightness in his hamstring. Y'all gonna be mad then, because I already see y'all gonna say, oh, he's faking and he all that, don't want to hear it. If you got to sit him out the week one, so be it. I wouldn't give up a dime because the Cowboys are not gonna pay it back to him. They're gonna teach him a lesson if he doesn't show up. Yeah. So if he shows up, and Pickens already knows what he's gonna do. It's just everybody else just speculating. Pickens already knows what he's gonna do. He's already talked to Dak. Dak know what he's gonna do. CD know what he's gonna do. And we just gotta wait to Monday when them guys start running out. The question is, does number 3 run out there with him? And if he runs out, my thing is this: nobody's kind of entertained this because George has been on the up and up since he got here, other than missing a couple meetings and all that type of stuff. But George has always said he just want to play. Yeah. So what if he does show up what if he just shows up?
Hey, he might like the $27 million.
He just like the $27 million. And
he only made 3 last year. It's a lot of money.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? He just might show up and just play. A lot of people are assuming that George is gonna show out. And he hadn't done it. He has not done it. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So again, to repeat myself, George does not have really any leverage, and he really gave it up when he signed that tag. And so he is obligated to be there for mandatory. He's a part of the team. He is obligated to be there. So we just have to see on Monday. I know he'll be there when week 1 get there. It'll just be interesting how he comes out or whatever the case. And what's going to even be more interesting, and I'll turn it back over to you, Joe, is when he gets there, please understand that every microphone is going to be in his face.
Yeah.
They're going to ask him because they ain't had the chance to ask him, what do you feel about playing on this tag? It's going to be interesting because I know he done rehearsed it already. It's just going to be interesting to see his answer, his tone, everything else. That's what's going to be kind of interesting. And trust me, the Jones going to be listening for that too. So be ready for it.
Hey, Joe, you give me a moment here. So
yeah,
we got a message in the chat. It's by KH6648-P2W. It says, y'all act like the Joneses. I don't know if you can bring that up. Y'all act like the Joneses care. Pickens had no leverage. Life in the NFL is not fair.
Yeah, I see it.
So I'm going to be honest with y'all. This is what's wrong with our team. Fans like this, dude, you're more happy that the leverage that you only got leverage over a player, then you are winning. That's why we hadn't won in 30 years because no one else would treat Pickens like this. And so, but we cheer like because okay. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead.
What we are now, y'all, is we are we're so cultural, whereas that's what we want. We want to win these culture wars. Players against the front office, corporations against workers. It's just all this stuff is just culture wars. That's what it is now. And so, like some people just know Jones owns the team. He's right. I don't care if we don't win in 30 more years. I want to be on the side of right. I don't care. I want to win, y'all.
Yeah.
And so when somebody's wrong, if the player's wrong, then I'm gonna say, okay, man, the player's wrong. I'm gonna tell you who's wrong. Zach Martin. You had already signed a contract. You wrong. So if they don't pay you, I'm good with that. You agreed to that contract. Let's do it. And so I just don't like. I don't like fans like that because you ain't here just to win. You're here to win culture wars. That's what you want to win. And I'm trying to win 6. You don't care if we don't win again, long as the Joneses come out on top. They put them in their place. No, dog, that ain't what it is. And that's why we've been losing. And let me say this, and I'm gonna let you go, Joe. Your way, whatever that number is, has not worked in 30 years, buddy. Your way has not worked in 30 years. So the people that are trying to win 6, we don't want to hear from you. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. I had to go off on that because I don't like people like that, man.
So I'm gonna go back to something you said about Zach Martin. The other thing that he did. So I kind of got an echo. Can y'all hear that?
All right, now I don't hear the echo. You good?
So they talked to Zach Martin about moving to play tackle. He was like, "No, I'm not doing that. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm not playing tackle. Y'all need me to play tackle. I'm not doing it. By the way, I want my money. So I want a new contract." So he didn't move to tackle. He wanted a new contract. Even though he had signed the contract, he got his money. So that's part of our culture too. So the culture thing with this organization, part of the culture is you really haven't done a good job of navigating the cap. Other teams have. And so don't sign Pickens, but what they lead fans to believe also, B-Bird, they have fans thinking that if they don't sign Pickens, they don't allocate this money to him, that money is going to go to somewhere else to improve the team.
No, it's not.
The truth is you haven't seen that in 30 years. That's not what's happening. So no, I'm not sure. I had thought for a while this offseason that maybe they were turning the table. They were going to do something with the cap. They had a couple of things they did I thought were, looked pretty good. But, man, if you think this front office is going to get everything right with this cap, if somebody put it in the chat is really live tonight. Someone put in the chat that the cap is going to go up $50 million.
Kels put that in.
Oh, that was Kels. Good to see you, Kels. So, yeah, this thing with the cap, that $50 million increase, if you're the Rams, you're the Eagles, these other teams, they're going to take advantage of that. This team doesn't do that. They actually have money left over and they carry it over to the following season. So where we started was with Pickens. Here's my thing. Now, this is what I wanted to say. Dak Prescott, he's got 2, maybe 3 years. Okay. If you want to give Dak a chance to win one, you get this deal done and you just get all this drama and put it to the side. Now, if you come back and just do what you've done before, you play these games with the contract, play these games with the players, you're impacting the locker room, that's not doing anything for Dak. So you'll just have 2 or 3 more years with Dak, and where this thing will end up is you got Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, all these great players that played here. If you don't change the way you operate, you're going to have Dak. He's going to go right up there with those guys. You got a great career, got a lot of accolades, but you know what you don't have? You have no Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah.
So your best chance to get one this year and next year, figure out a way to get something done with Pickens. If you franchise him twice, that'll be crazy. But if you think that you're going to go out and beat a lot of these teams with CD, Ryan Flournoy. And I guess we can have what's that guy that we liked from last year?
The Oregon wide receiver.
Yeah,
Trayshawn Holden.
Holden. You know, you got a new draft pick. Smith is his last name. We've been there and done that, guys.
Yeah.
You got a certified All-Pro player right here. You can go out and win this thing in the next year or so. But if you do what you've been doing for the last 30 years, it's not going to work. You don't get the same results.
Hey, so let me ask y'all a question. This is what I would love somebody to ask them in the press conference. So Stephen, you know, so you're signing. You're going to let Pickens play on a franchise tag, right? And he'll say something like, "Yeah, we've done that before. We did it with the running back. We've done it a few times before. We've done that a lot." Yeah, but so how do you go about? How could you justify building your franchise, your roster, when you're counting a guy $27 million against a cap? That's a big cap hit. It's one of the bigger cap hits in the league for a wide receiver. So won't that inhibit you from bettering your team? And I'd love to see him answer that question, because that's what it does. You it's no way if I'm a GM and I need to win in 5 years, or they're gonna let me go, I'm gonna let one guy count that much against my salary cap. I'm just not gonna do that, because if I can sign him to a long-term deal and I can have his salary cap hit at $12 million, now that $15 million more, I can go get with other people. But see, nobody asks that question, because what it is the Jones have normalized the way they function. And now people are like, that's just the Joneses. No, that's not just the Joneses. We can't get.
It's not like that.
Something a long time ago. He asked me something. He said, "Man," he said, it was like a building question. I used to call it to a show. He said, "Well, what do you think they ought to do in the postseason?" I told him what I thought they ought to do. And he said, "But that's not the Joneses." I said, "Man, I never changed the way I think a team ought to be built on the Joneses. They're not gonna have me. They're not gonna put me in a hole of what they do. They're not gonna get my mindset on what they do. I still won't do that. That's why I asked for Crosby the whole last season and this season. And so what again, man, like they just function differently, man. I would love somebody to ask that question. And I want to say this one thing too. And I'm gonna let you go. Him signing that contract, I have to think, and I don't know if y'all think this too. I have to think that the agents say, "Hey, let's go sign it," because something might be shaking around the draft. Because remember, he signed it right before the draft. So I was like, why is he signing it? Because everybody's like, oh, he's going to get traded. Well, he might wanted to make it easier for him to be traded because it's already signed. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I could think of, because it doesn't serve him anything to do that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying. You just put more detail on it. That's the only thing I could think of. He was trying to make a deal, possibly a trade, but with that trade would come an extension.
Correct.
And he would have to sign an extension, and in that extension, whatever his, you thought his value was as far as annual per year, no team was going to give him that type of money. Now, Common Sense Lab, I left your comment on here, and listen, y'all lighten up the chat if you want to get your comment lighter, because there's a lot in here, and I'm not looking at all of them. Just do the super chat. It's a guarantee that it will highlight that, and that's up to you. The Common Sense said the problem is that the owner, GM, and son are worried about the brand. The moment the players worry about the brands, it becomes a problem. I believe that's part right, but that's really not the base of the real problem. B-Bird kind of highlighted it for you. He just didn't say it the way that I'm going to say it, but we're saying the same thing. The Cowboys, man, when it comes to the role of a general manager or the rules of general managership, the Cowboys operate different from other teams because they know they can't be fired. That's what the problem is.
Yeah.
The things that they do, other general managers would have gotten fired for. I just use one small example. The Cowboys picking these injured players all these years. And a regular general manager would have been fired for stuff like that. because of the reason why Howard Roseman does such a good job is because he's playing like this is his last year.
Absolutely. Because it could be
every year. And that's why the Eagles, you be saying like, aren't we all operating on the same salary cap? How do the Eagles keep getting all these guys? Like, because he's operating as if he does not, if he's gonna lose his job by the owner. Well, the owner on our team and general manager are the same person. There's no way they're gonna fire themselves. So they get to go pick the LVEs. They go get to pick the Jalen Smiths. They go get to pick the DeMar and Overshones. They go get to pick all these hurt guys when the other team saying, "Hey, we got to win now. We ain't got 2 years for red shirts and all that type of stuff." And I'm just using that as an example. You don't find that if guys are injured coming in, most guys ain't gonna pick them. Why do you think the kid from Tennessee went so low in the draft, the cornerback? They say got first round talent. Because Jim say we ain't touching that. Now the Cowboys didn't do it either. But I'm just saying that's just an example of what's going on. There's no, I think, look out, KC, thank you. There's no. The mirror is Jerry Jones. He's not going to fire himself. So you don't have the urgency.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. You don't have the urgency to do what everybody else is doing. The Baltimore Ravens had urgency. Let me show you an example. They went out and got Max Crosby. Deal was done. Baltimore got it done. Then he didn't pass his physical. The Baltimore Ravens said, oh no, we ain't finna sit around and wait. Call Trey Hendrickson. you go from one to the other. They say, look, we ain't about to wait. We gonna go get Trey. If we can't get Max, we gonna get Trey Hendrickson. In other words, we're dead set on getting the best pass rusher. We're not gonna get Crosby. Okay, we gonna get Trey Hendrickson. I'm talking about the urgency, and we down here saying we gonna build it up from the draft. That's and no knock against Lawrence, the kid we just drafted. No knock against Gary. No knock against that. But I'm saying the opportunity was there to go get Trey Hendrickson. But you want to say I don't know I don't even know if they even tried to get an offer. They believe in development. While other teams are saying we got to win right now. That's the difference. They believe that Max Crosby, the Ravens, they said Max Crosby was the missing piece. They couldn't get Max Crosby. Okay, we're gonna get Trey Hendrickson right there and there. Bam. It ain't take 48 hours. It was a done deal. And the Cowboys are saying we're gonna bank all our money on Rashad Gary.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we're going to bank all our money for pass rush on the new kid coming in, Lawrence and Sam Williams and all that. And I'm not knocking the kids may do well, but I'm saying the mentality of a killer. That's why Philly end up getting what they got. I'm saying, like, don't you want to make the team the best that it could be? Instead of trying to get beat. I mean, it's just a mentality. And I'm not saying the defense is not going to be good at all. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's a mentality to this thing that urgency takes place when you know that your job is on the line. The job is not on the line. So most GMs, to go back to Pickens, some GM will say, hey, we got to get this done, man. Hey, we got to get Pickens done. Are you crazy? We get to have Pickens and Lamb and CD. I mean Pickens, Lamb, and Dak for 3-4 years. Oh, we gotta get this done. Like what are we waiting on? We're just gonna lock this up now and we'll figure the rest of it out. That's what most GMs would say. Cause I got a chance to get my having Pickens and Lamb and Dak gets me closer to a Super Bowl than having CD and whoever our number 3 receiver is. Is it Mingo? I mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
Is it Mingo? Is it? I mean, come on now. I'm saying having Pickens gets me closer to the Super Bowl than having the option of Dak, CD, and whoever our number 2 guy gonna be if Pickens not here. So I'm saying the urgency is there. It's not. I'm saying it's not there because they know they can't get fired. That's the reason why. So that and our common sense. You're right on your comment, but that's kind of like the base is kind of like what we're talking about, and what you're talking about is a branch. And I'm not trying to diminish your comment because your comment is right, but the root of it is that when you're the owner and GM, and you ain't firing your son. Your son got to take over. His job is secure. That's why Troy Aikman upset. That's why Michael Irvin get up there and say, man, Troy wanted to do this, but they ain't gonna give up their seat. Come on now. This is what the issue is. So that's all I want to go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, whoever's going next.
No, I was going to say, and I wanted to clarify something too. I was looking in the chat. So the way I'm gonna approach this, everything is based on 2 years. So it's this year and next year. I'm saying let's take a run at this thing this year and then next year. And then if Pickens is off the team, then fine. But at least try to have him on the team for this year and next year. You can make a run at this thing. One thing we need to talk about too is you guys talked about maybe Pickens signed his franchise tag too early. Another thing that we need to talk about is Cowboys might have made a move too early on an edge because we got Sweat out there.
Yeah. I mean, are they looking that way? I mean, you see what I'm saying? The fans won't Sweat.
Well,
but the Cowboys say we good.
Yeah.
Well,
we draft this guy. We got to see how he gonna do. We're gonna develop him. Christian Parker loves him, and we're gonna roll with Lawrence. We're gonna roll with Sam. We're gonna roll with Izaraku. We're gonna roll with Gary. See, the fan base is looking at Sweat. The fan base wanted Myles Garrett. The fan base and the Cowboys wanted Crosby. Crosby is the only one that we know for sure that the Cowboys actually wanted. And every other name that everybody's talking about, we didn't want. We ain't think about no Myles Garrett. I ain't heard nothing about everybody want to say, well, the Cowboys are linked to Josh Sweat. I mean, everybody's linked to the Cowboys during this time.
Yeah, everybody trying to get clicks in. But let me ask you a question. Let me ask y'all a question, man. I want y'all to really think back. The year is 1995, 1994. We fired Jimmy Johnson. Everybody's calling Jerry the stupidest GM in the world for firing a 2-time defending world champion. So this is after we lost the NFC Championship game to San Fran, right? So Jerry at that point in time was the most desperate to win than ever because he likes to prove everybody wrong, right? That's his biggest thing. So think about that Jerry then, that desperate, all kinds of sense of urgency. Do you think that Jerry would go into this season with those defensive ends?
No, he would not. The Jerry Jones I know would go for Charles.
Myles Garrett would be in Dallas already, man.
Charles Taylor, yeah. That's the Jerry I know. But that lets you know, and I'm sorry, Joe, if I went over you, but that lets you know who's really running the show.
Yeah.
If you were watching the War Room, or if you watched that little piece that I forgot the name of it, where where the Cowboys went over how they got Caleb Downs. I forgot the name of the Insiders or something like that. Stephen Jones is running the show. I mean, it's something that we all kind of know because he's more concerned. He's always been concerned about the cap. Always. This is the same dude that jacked his daddy up for going to get Deion Sanders when there was no cap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the same guy that is looking, number one, he ain't looking at the Lombardi trophy. He looking straight at the books.
He look at the books.
Pay this guy this, how much money we gonna have left? So if there was a salary cap championship of the world, Stephen Jones would be the undisputed champion of the salary cap.
10-time champion, baby.
Cap
Nobody else would win because he makes sure. That's why they go get all these cheap players. Need I remind everybody about the way that we did free agency? I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about the years before. Y'all know how we used to go to the bottom of the barrel and go get guys we ain't never heard of, and we'll go to war with them guys. So this year was a little different, and you thought that we were doing stuff different, which in essence we were. We had to satisfy Christian Parker with some of the people.
For us. It was different for us.
Yeah, it's different for us, but I'm saying like Jerry, I know when he wanted to change the power, this is what his track record shows. He went out and got Deion Sanders. He went out and got Charles Haley. That changed the whole power. That's what he did. Is this Jerry Jones? This is not the riverboat gambler, dude. This guy Stephen Jones written all over it. And if this is how it's gonna be when Jerry leaves here, when he passes away or he retires or whatever, well, this ain't looking good because Stephen Jones looks at the books. He looks at the books and say, okay, we ain't got enough to spread the pie. We don't have enough with the pie. It's kind of hard to build a team when you're paying your quarterback.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everybody else pay their quarterback. I mean, and they still are getting folks. Jalen Hurts got paid at the time, and look, Philadelphia still adding. Come on now. I don't get it. They got to hide AJ probably leaving, but they had Devontae Smith, highly paid. Yeah. AJ Brown, highly paid. Dallas Goedert was one of the highest paid in the game. And
Saquon, 3 or 4 offensive linemen that's highest paid.
And Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
I mean, come on now. You can't tell me that you can't fix this stuff.
Yeah.
They operating off a different salary cap than we are, or at least the methods. And Steven need to sit at the feet and try to figure out, how do I get all this? I ain't even call out, like B-Bird said, I ain't even call out the linemen of Philadelphia. I ain't even talking about their defensive players. I mean, come on now. I'm saying, like, what are you doing that we ain't doing? I mean, and I don't know if they're capable of doing it because the methods is different. The methods is totally different. That's all I got to say. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think the thing with the salary cap, that's a frustration that, people have that's been watching the team. You mentioned Philadelphia. Think about that, what you just said. Along with that, they won 2 Super Bowls in that time span. So just think about that. They won 2. They won a few years back. They actually fired the coach, Doug Peterson. They won the first one.
That's crazy.
They fired him 2 years later.
Urgency.
But Jason Garrett was here for 10 years. Jason Garrett, he started out, he had 3 NFC East Championship games in a row. He went 8-8. He went 0-3 in all of those games where you win the game, you win the East. He lost. He went 0-3. So yeah, I was gonna say too, the thing about them is, man, it's just a dysfunction, big time. You think Steven is running things. Well, this time last year, Steven was ready to sign Micah. I think Jerry blew up the Micah deal. It wasn't Steven. So you think Jerry is getting ready to get put out the pasture, but he can come back and show you that he still, he still got some bullets in the gun. And so we need to figure out what's this Pickens thing. Is it Jerry or Steven that's gonna kind of get this deal done, or just do whatever they're gonna do? But yeah, it's just funny, hard to watch.
I answer that. I think you're right about Jerry, because Jerry had that relationship with Micah. That's where the problem started. And Micah did a lot of talking, thought all that type of stuff. And then the agent got involved and they shot everything down. And then, of course, Micah acted the way that he acted. And that turned into what we know, of course, is the trade or whatever. So you're right about that. I'm quite sure Jerry probably said, I got Micah. Don't worry about him. I got Michael. I got him. I've been talking to him. We already got the money already set. Don't worry about Michael. And then, of course, the agent get involved, and then that goes. So I understand that part. But as far as Jerry goes, and Steven, please don't dismiss the fact they don't want to pay two guys that amount of money in that position. See, everybody talking, let's sign. Look, on other teams, you might have the Cincinnati Chase and T. Higgins. You might have the Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua on one side, stuff like that. But Jerry ain't trying to pay two receivers that amount of money. It's just, I mean, they gotta fool me. See, if we can get that locked in our head, you remember they ain't never wanted to pay. They ain't want to pay Amari Cooper. Let's go back. They didn't want to pay Amari Cooper the money, at that time, which was high, $20 million at the time. They ain't want to pay Amari Cooper that money. Because it seemed like when you become, it's different. When you become, unless you're a lineman, if you're one of the best at your positions, that's when the problems start. Other than a lineman, the linemen have no problem getting their money. The linemen have no problem. Go down through the years. Tyron Smith didn't have no problem. Zach Martin didn't have no problem. Doug Free didn't had no problem getting the money. The linemen have no issue with getting the money. Cornerbacks, wide receivers, running backs have always got, especially if you're considered one of the best at their position. Ezekiel Elliott had issues. DeMarcus Lawrence at the time had issues. Dez Bryant had issues. Amari Cooper had issues. Cole Beasley, even though he wasn't the best at the position, he had issues. But watch this. Dak Prescott, we all know the story, had issues. But here's the funny thing, though. And I don't want to get in this because, y'all ain't ready for this conversation. But Tony Romo didn't have no problem getting his, did he?
No, didn't.
They gave it.
They ain't ready for it. Don't hit him with it big time.
I better leave that alone. But I'm going to leave that alone. I'm just saying, everybody else has had issues. Some type of little small war. Sometime it eventually got done. But the special players, the linemen, no problem. They believe in paying the linemen. It ain't no doubt about that. It's just everywhere else where the issue is. That's not good general managership, y'all. That's not good general managership. It's not. It's just not. And more other teams don't have this issue. They just don't. But that's the Dallas Cowboy way.
So one of the things that I heard this about 3 years ago, I'll never forget, the OC on Boss's show.
Yeah.
He said Stephen Jones runs this team like a accounting firm rather than a football team. And that's right. Because he's an accounting firm, they just worry about numbers. That's what he's worried about. Whereas football people are worried about winning. We'll figure the numbers out later. But that's not how he runs it, man. He runs it that way. I'm looking at over the cap right now, man. And two things what I don't like about the way they structured their contract. For one thing, you know who, so you know what our second biggest cap hit is this year, player?
Is it
somebody that's not on the team?
No, somebody's on the team. Yeah,
okay.
They're on the team.
Who is it? I'm trying to.
George Pickens.
Oh yeah, because of the franchise tag.
Because of the franchise tag.
I'm saying, y'all, that another GM would not. They'd be like, no, we got to lower that. Now, one thing I'm gonna tell you what I did notice though too, man, it's kind of crazy, but the way they structures Dak contract, unless they're gonna redo it, he counts $43 million against the cap this year, whereas most quarterbacks don't count that much against it. But Dak really got him because you know what I did one time? I put his contract up against Hurts' contract, and man, that contract looked better than his, and it's only like I think Hurts is at $55 million a year, but the way they doing that contract is almost like they almost doing it like dollar for dollar almost. You know what I'm saying? He's counting $43 million against the cap this year. That's a lot, man. And so what the Cowboys want to do is in about 3 or 4 years, they want to be able to just cut free with you. They don't want no dead money, and they don't want none of that kind of stuff. They want to cut it free and go. But other GMs might make this contract go into like 2031, 2032. Why? So we ain't got to pay this. We ain't got to count $43 million against the salary cap 1 year. That's going to inhibit us to do what we got to do. So between two players, you got $70 million right there between those two guys counting against the salary cap.
And to your point, the Cowboys in the structure of Dak Prescott, they can go in and redo everything anyway. They just have to give him his upfront money. They give him as much money as they want to up front in a signing bonus or whatever. And then, of course, and make the cap hit be whatever they want it to be. So again, general managership, you don't have to be a cap hit of $43 million. They can go ahead and do what they want to do. They can do it, but hey, it's Cowboys.
Hey, Kel said that Dak has an automatic restructuring clause built into his contract.
Of course, that's what I was just saying. They can make this thing real nice, and take that money and lower the cap hit and move it down, do whatever they want to do. They have that option. Why hasn't it been done? Who knows? There's been talk about even doing Quentin Williams again. Maybe that has something to do with it as well, as far as getting him signed long term. So you just never know what they're doing. But I agree with you. It's certain things the Cowboys can do that just hadn't done it yet. I'm not saying it's not gonna be done. Maybe they got a game plan for that. I would think that they do. It just don't have anything to do with George Pickens. I really believe that their mind. I hate to go to church here, but the old church used to say, "My heart is fixed and my mind is made up." I think their heart is fixed and mind made up of what they want to do with George Pickens. Yeah. And that is just let them play on the franchise tag. I don't think they have really no plans of doing a long-term deal with George Pickens. I believe that they, in their heart, they knew that they could franchise them this year. And I believe that they saying, look, we're going to get 2 years out of them and we'll let them walk. Yeah. We ain't going to pay them.
But they did too. I think what happened is they didn't plan on George Pickens playing at an all-pro level. They planned on him playing at a number 2 level, right? And number 2 was more affordable. But when he played at a Pro Bowl level, now he's in number 1 category. They didn't figure that out. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know about y'all, but I'm thinking y'all was too. I was excited when we got Pickens because I knew the potential of what he was going to be. Yeah. So I knew that because me and Law was on the show. Law was like, "Man, Pickens just as good." He basically said he's just as good as CeeDee Lamb, and I said, "Yeah, I think he is too." And Law said that first, and I was like, "But it came out to be that." But because we kind of know that if you get that talent with that quarterback, some good things probably going to happen. And so I think he just outperformed whatever Jerry and Steven thought he was going to do.
Well, the blessing for Pickens was that CD went down.
Yeah.
And then the curse for Jerry was that CD went down because he found out. That's when he turned into an all-pro. Mm-hmm. And that hurt him. I mean, that hurt him. It didn't hurt Pickens at all. Because the bottom line is he gonna get paid regardless. It just may not be with the Dallas Cowboys, but he gonna get paid. It's gonna happen. He's gonna have another good year this year. He's gonna have another good year. And if he walks, he's gonna be the highest, but he's gonna be the number 1 free agent coming off the board next year. And he's gonna get paid. I don't think the Cowboys gonna franchise him again because I think Kale's in there. Kales, if the Cowboys franchise him next year, next season, what is that number?
I think it's 34 million, man. That's what I heard.
34, 35 or something like that.
34 million, what I heard.
They ain't fit to do that.
That's 64 million guaranteed over 2 years. So.
No, they're not going to do that.
So if you go back and just look at that Kansas City game, look at the Philly game, those 2 games we won, you had a healthy Pickens and a healthy Lamb. And so you can see what both players can do for your team when they're playing, when they're healthy. So I think that's it's just if they didn't really think that George Pickens could play this well. Again, that just it's like I'm trying to understand the way you're running your pro personnel and you making decisions about your roster because I don't know anybody that thought Pickens would come in here and play bad or play like a number two. I mean, if that's the case, we got big trouble. Um, but yeah, it's just the way they do this thing, man, with these guys in this front office and Cowboy fans, we have what's called Stockholm syndrome. You know, we so used to them just
Yeah.
doing this kind of stuff and Bieber, what you said earlier, the fans start chiming in and they just start saying, well, you know, we can't do this, we can't do that. Come on, man. It's like, really? You just look at what these other teams are doing. You touched on it earlier. The Ravens wanted Max Crosby. When Max Crosby was ruled out, they immediately went to Hendrickson. You know why? Because they had a plan. They knew what they were going to do. They had a strategy. This front office, B-Bird, the strategy, and you said it. You said it multiple times. When they traded for Pickens, they should have signed him then.
Yeah.
And so look at the contracts that they're doing. I was going to ask you, like, what is Josh Allen's impact on Buffalo? Matt Stafford for the Rams, B-Bird, if you had it over the cap thing you're looking at, if you have a look at that.
I'm going to look at it. Let me see.
But again, I'm just questioning, Chaos can chime in on this. It's like, man, the stuff that they do in this front office, it's like, who is actually in control? Who's doing what?
They're in control. They have a philosophy. They love guys playing on 1-year contracts. We done seen that for years too. That ain't too smart.
Your philosophy is not producing anything.
They got coaches that's on 1-year deals. They got players that's on 1-year deals. It is what it is. They have a philosophy. They figure you're going to get the best out the player. They're playing on a 1-year deal, and they say, okay, we'll pay you later and all that. They did Dak like this. All these franchise tags, the guys that we've had over the years, those essentially were 1-year deals. They did coaches like that. I mean, it just
now they got Lamb coming up too, right?
Way. It's just their way.
Hey man, I'm gonna say it again. Y'all better watch out because if they franchise Pickens again and then Lamb is out of Lamb and Pickens, they might be trying to strategically string Pickens along until Lamb contract is gone and they just choose between the two of those guys.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Because Lamb is coming up, I believe, next year.
I think it said after the next season. No, 2028, somebody told me.
But yeah, you've seen these teams, what they do is they just say, we're going to go for it. We're going to go all in. This is what we're going to do with our cap. We're going to spread it out. We're going to push some of this stuff down the road. And they just go out and they try to win. You've seen it. That's what these teams, look at the Rams. You remember what everybody would say if the Rams was done? They traded away their picks. They won a Super Bowl and people were saying that they were done. They already back.
They had a Hall of Famer retire and still back.
Yeah, and they probably the best team in the NFL going into the season. They had extra draft picks. So again, it's like it's just stunning the way these teams operate. And you know what? It's really weird. And we was talking about something earlier before the show. Man, look, it's some stuff, some weird stuff going on with this team, with this front office. And you would just say to yourself, and yesterday the report came out again. I don't know if you guys saw it. They the most valuable franchise in the world again. They the top team. So it was them, the Yankees. They had the Golden State Warriors up there, believe it or not. Golden State Warriors was number 2. So Dallas was 1, Golden State was number 2. Of course, the Yankees was up there. So they're the most valuable franchise in sports. I mean, worldwide. But the front office and the way they manage things, it's like I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
I want to give them credit for what Kale just said. I know it seems like we killing them. But this right here, her comment is a very smart move that they did. As long, the Jets are paying Quinn Williams, Kenneth Clark is still on Green Bay's payroll. So I mean that was a smart move. I give them credit for that. They don't have to really just pay it all for them as of now. So that was smart in the trade and all that type of stuff. But
So she's saying that Quentin and Clark are on the other team's payroll.
Yes.
I mean, we still paying them though.
Still paying them, but we're not paying them the full.
But see, then you say, okay, how do you take advantage of that, right? Like so we sit in the catbird seats on those. That means that we have more resources to allocate to get other players, right?
Yeah.
So what I don't see where that transpired, because you can have the savings, but if it doesn't go into anything, then what are we doing?
You just got the savings hid up, and you can say, "Hey, I'm still the salary cap champion of the world."
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's it.
So my producer Jules walked in the studio here. He said, "Make sure I tell you guys." He had put a comment in there, but he said for the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl, their cap is going to have to be bad. They're going to have a bad cap situation. But that's true. But the Rams and these other teams, they don't look at that as a bad cap. They just look at it. You're just doing what you got to do to manage the cap to win.
It's a cost of winning. That's what it is. Like it's the cost of winning. You want to pay the cost of winning. That's what it is. And they have not wanted to pay the cost of winning. What they said is, what they want to do is, we just want to stay at a level, and we want to stay at this level long enough to whereas this level is enough to win. What I mean by that is this: we want to be at a 7.5, whereas the league falls to a 6. And if that ever happens, buddy, we gonna win. But the league ain't never fall to a 6. Or you know what I'm saying? It's gonna always be your teams that's I'm talking about out of 10. The teams that are 8, 9, 9.5 out of 10 are going to be ones in the Super Bowl. So you can't be conservative and risk averse and win the Super Bowl. You're just not going to do that, man. Everybody got to take some risks. And guess what? They might not work out, man. Like I used to tell y'all about my daughter. I used to tell her, hey, long as you swing it with aggression at the ball in softball, I don't care if you strike out or not, because you're gonna strike out. You're not gonna do right every time. All you can do is your effort is the only thing that you can control. The Cowboys have lacked effort in these off seasons.
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention, I talked about this before. I want you guys to think about some of these recent Super Bowl winners, even the two teams that played last year. You can't tell me that the Cowboys couldn't have made a couple more moves, and they would have been able to play in the Super Bowl last year. If you don't trade Michael Parsons, I think you got a good chance to be in it. But go back and look at that year the Rams won it when they played Cincinnati. It was not a dominant team. They had our guy that we talked about earlier that retired. What's the defensive lineman for the Rams? He was a dominant player, but again, the team wasn't dominant. Just go back and look at some of these Super Bowl winning teams. The Cowboys, if they had just made a few more moves, had a bad cap, they could have won a Super Bowl. In those years. The year they traded Amari Cooper, you just keep Amari Cooper, and you add CD.
Yeah,
you got Cedric Wilson.
They reset. That was bad.
You got a very good chance of winning. But this is what they do. They just don't go all in, and it's just bizarre to watch. I think this year, they did a pretty decent job in the offseason. But here we are. We're at the end of May. They still got to make one or two more moves. And when you talked about the Charles Haley trade earlier, big time, they did the Charles Haley trade. They traded Charles Haley to the Packers. So we had Charles Haley, and you traded him. Yeah.
So
it was a different time. There was no cap back then. So, man, I mean,
yeah,
I'm really speaking in terms of the aggression. You wanted to win the Super Bowl, and you did what you had to do to win the Super Bowl. I understand that there was no cap back then, so you could go get a Dion, you could go get a Charles Haley, pay whatever you want to pay him, and all that type of stuff. I get all that. I'm just talking about the mentality. The mentality was we got to win now. But Jimmy was there, and Jimmy didn't know nothing but winning. So I don't know if really that got something to do with Jerry anyway. That might have came from Jimmy. Jimmy wanted to win.
That boy won at the U.
Yeah, I mean, he don't know nothing but winning. So, again, it is what it is. You see what the other teams are doing. The Cowboys, you saying we got two more moves, Joe. I don't know. I really believe that they have looked at certain spots in this roster and they say, we ready to rock. I mean, I'm serious. The fan base says we need 1 or 2 more moves. Cowboys ain't saying that. They gotta get all. You remember now, the Cowboys all believe also in another strategy. They also believe in trying to make $1 out of 15 cents to prove everybody wrong. The Mozzie Smiths of the world, that type of stuff. The Connor Williams of the world, if you remember him. They if we drafted you in the 2nd round like we did Sam Williams, they gonna try to stay with it until it hits.
Yeah.
And they don't believe in moving off. We drafted in the 2nd round. He has to stay. We got to figure it out. They got to figure out the Taco Charltons of the world, that type of thing. We got to figure it out. We gonna red shirt Jalen Smith until his knee come, till he finally figured out, and then he got drop foot, and we still gonna play him. Yeah. This type of we gonna get LVE regardless, knowing he got bad neck, and he's playing a position where your neck gonna get used as playing a linebacker. We gonna draft him anyway because we believe in our training staff. We don't believe that his neck is not gonna be messed up anymore. So I'm saying the standard for the fan base is totally different than what they're thinking. So you saying we're supposed to make some moves, okay. I just throw out edge. As I already said it. Everybody talking about Josh Sweat. Cowboys ain't thinking nothing about no Josh Sweat. They thinking about Lawrence the rookie. They thinking about Barham the rookie. They thinking about Rashad Gary and Donovan Izaraku and Sam Williams and James Houston. That's what they thinking about. We can play football right now, and we're gonna blitz Overshown sometime, and we're gonna blitz it. Look, stop it. The fan base want that. The Cowboys ain't even picking up the phone, man.
So I want to, Kels, the question was, what would the franchise be? She asked, what was the question again about the $34 million? It would be, what was the franchise tag be?
If they franchise Pickens next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I asked.
So I want to tell y'all this too, man, that people say that Jerry is not a gambler. He lost that, but he really is. So big time, name those people again that he took gambles on. Those are all gambles that other GMs could not afford to take.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Jalen Smith with the drop foot. All these guys, man, that Mozzie Smith is almost like if you ever played slots, you put a whole bunch of money in a slot machine, but you're scared to walk away because the next one might just be it. No, that's what it's built for, right? And so, Taco Charlton, all these guys that are given too much time to, even right now with the defensive end, what's his name?
Which one, the new one?
No, the one we just re-signed.
Sam Williams.
We just won't let him go, right? And we the ones that keep him on the roster. Why? Because other GMs they realize that no, this guy's not productive. We gave him enough time, and he's not coming along. We got to find people that actually play to come in and do it. And so that's what they do. But the Jones, I tell people, Jerry's still a gambler. He gambles. He takes gambles that other folks can't. Again, y'all, he ain't going nowhere, so he can do that. So you're absolutely right about that, man. That guy takes him, like these guys that he hold on to, that we see that can't play. Everybody saw that Mozzie wasn't it, man. After about 1 or 2 years, because the second year we should see you coming in, solidifying yourself in that position. Yeah. But now what we ended up having to do is draft people. No, we had to trade for people for your position. That's what we ended up doing.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is, man.
So, until that, but on that note, I will give them credit that they did something they usually don't do. They usually stick it out, but they went ahead and made a big shift change, and they got Quentin and they got Clark, and of course you can throw in the kid from Alabama this year, Overton. You throw him in as well. So they made some changes. I'll even throw in as far as the secondary goes. They made a drastic change as far as secondary goes. They revamped the whole thing, to be honest with you. Other than I can understand people wanting to see what we got in Ravel, and hopefully Bland can be healthy, all that type of stuff, and go on with that. But Parker brought in a whole new crew.
Yeah. Hey,
Man,
let me ask you a question, man.
That tells you that he didn't like what he was seeing on film. That tells you he wasn't going with what he, the Malik Hookers, the Donovan Wilsons, the Marquise Bells, these guys, they aren't, they don't fit the system. So that I give the Cowboys credit for admitting they're wrong on that, and maybe that's a slight change. And I don't think that's Jerry. I think they had to be fair to the new incoming defensive coordinator, and it's obvious that was the case. Kale's brought up the tag. She answered our question. I left it up here so all you guys can see it. So the cap hit for Pickens, if they franchise him next year, would be 32 to 33 million. And that last part where you can't see, she said it will not hit the cap. It will not hit the Cowboys into cap hell due to not having no dead money.
But what it doesn't do is get them flexibility, because that counts dollar for dollar against the cap. Yeah. So that's what it is. But I did want to, you did break on something, because we've been dogging out the Jones in the front office, which is kind of our specialty. But a positive thing, man, if I can say, is that I love what they did with the safety room, man. You talked about it a little bit, man, but I just think that people undervalue that position, and we've undervalued. When the last time we had a safety room similar to this, man?
Roy Williams.
Not since the 90s.
It might have been the 90s, man.
I've been saying, but it's Roy Williams.
Yeah, Roy, but he's one guy. I'm talking about the whole room.
Oh, well, that got to go back to when we were winning. That's Darren and
that's back then. That's when
James Washington and all those guys.
That's how long it's taken us, man. So think about this, and I'll tell y'all this. My strategy on football: if you're strong on the inside, you're gonna win. Like I'm talking about, if your interior offensive line is good, and your defensive tackles are good, and your safeties are good, your linebackers are good. I know the peripheral guys, wide receivers, cornerbacks, and all those guys get a lot of glory. But man, I still think if you weak up the middle, man, and you can't stop the run and right up the middle of the gut, and you can't run up the middle, you ain't winning you ain't going far in the playoffs with that. So I think they did a lot of good things with this. We've never had defensive tackles like we have now. We've never had that kind of talent defensive tackle. We've never had this kind of talent at safety. We've never. Well, I'm not going to say never. I'm glad we got the 3 interior linemen that we have. So I think, man, up the middle, we just a stronger team. Overall, I think I think that when you're strong up the middle, also you could go on the road in inclement weather and win. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, you know what I'm saying, you can't run on us, we can run on you. We probably gonna win this game. So, but back to the safety position, man, I really love what they did in that room. They kind of made over the whole room.
Yeah.
So I love what they did. We got athletes back there, and I think before we haven't had that, man.
Yeah.
Yep. And we got to look at whether what's our safety, our senior safety that we have. His name escapes me at the moment. He came from
Hooker.
Yeah, we got to look at, is he going to make the team? I think Jayla Thompson. You got Caleb Downs. So yeah, I think it's going to be a stretch for him to make it. Some people were talking about him playing down in the box. I think he's past that in his career. I don't think he can play in the box anymore. But yeah, the safety room, I'm also glad that they, finally, it took them a while to go ahead and see. And I wonder if Christian Parker influenced them to do that. But yeah, the safety room is really probably one of the best positions that we have on the team. And then, like you guys were saying, up the middle, it's going to be hard for teams to run on us. I like the way the linebacker group is setting up. So we're just missing the edge player. I think, we talked about Clowney, Vaughn coming back maybe to Dallas. So that's the move I think they need to make. What I was going to ask you guys, I know I saw something the other day. about the June 1st cuts, and one of them could be Tony Pollard. I want to know if you guys would be interested in having Pollard come back. I think he would be a perfect number 2 back with our runner that we have now. So it's going to be some cuts coming up next week. That's going to kind of probably give us a clue on if it's going to be somebody out there. So that the June 1st cuts you're probably going to start seeing them this weekend. It's kind of the way it works. So I would love to grab Tony Pollard and get him back in here. I wanted to see what you guys thought about that.
I would love Pollard because it's simple for me, and I won't make it long. Javonte Williams' year last year was an anomaly.
Yeah,
it usually don't happen. He's traditionally been hurt, and so if he goes down, what you got left? I mean, what we got? Jadon Blue and Phil Maffa and the kid
from Anaconda.
Yeah, that guy there, who probably get a good shot at this thing this year. That's what we have left. And if that's the case, I saw last year when Javonte didn't play, running game wasn't on. So Tony Pollard would be a perfect number 2 running back at this point. You can win football games with him taking over the number 1 spot. If Javonte went down, I think he'll be perfect, and he won't cost a lot. So that of course, when you say don't cost a lot, guess what? That fits the Dallas Cowboys criteria right there. Be honest with you, he won't cost a lot, and he's quality. You're not bringing him in to be the number 1 running back. You're bringing him in to be a relief for Javonte, who I don't know. I hope he have the same year like he had last year, but I don't know if his body's gonna last like that for 17 weeks. You need a guy like that. I even throw in Malik Davis, who I think did an outstanding job last year.
He been getting shot in the stick.
Filling in. I think he did an outstanding job. Yeah. I don't know why he always got to end up at the bottom of the barrel with the Dallas Cowboys, but he did an outstanding job last year once they finally gave it to him. I think that need to be fair. But again, that's where the politics come involved, because they got to get Jadon Blue in the game. Yeah. They got to make him be the guy. And I'm saying Malik Davis is a better running back, if you ask me. I saw with my own eye, he jumped over Malik Davis. He jumped over Jadon Blue and Phil Maffa to solidify the number 2 spot. So again, this is where the politics come into play, and that's something that the Cowboys are notorious for too. Like we can't do that because we drafted them in whatever round. We got to find out if he's this guy or whatever. So no, Malik Davis, you can be on the practice squad, all that type of mess. So I don't know, but I love the idea of Pollard coming back if they were entertaining it.
Hey, so I think Kels was breaking a little news there. If you want to read that one, big time, I'll put it up.
All right.
Not breaking news, just good info.
Kels says, so right now the Cowboys sitting at 8.2 million. More moves
and thanks for
adding another edge or linebacker are in the works. That's the key word. She says they are in the works. They are waiting on post-June 1 cuts, kind of like what Joe just said, when they will get a little bit more money and other teams to cut. There's 2 that they are gunning. There's 2 that they're gunning for that.
So I'm hoping that one of those linebackers she's talking about is the linebacker from Miami,
Jordan
Brooks. And so, man, if you figure out a way to get him, again, you're just taking your defense to another level. But I don't know who the edge would be. Who you think that she's talking about there?
Who knows? It could be Sweat. So it could be Sweat. Who knows?
Yeah. I think
they're kind of in a rebuild mode right now. Like to me, like whenever I'm in a rebuild mode, again,
coach, and Sweat don't like the coach as well.
And then, like, when I'm in the rebuild mode, man, I don't need people with big contracts that I know not going to be there whenever we start winning again. I'm just wasting my time, man. So,
Yeah, man,
yeah.
that's what Jordan Brooks falls into play because they rebuilt it in Miami.
Let me ask you a question. Let me answer the question on Pollard. I think also too he gives you a different type of runner. Like if he's your number 2, so I definitely want him coming back. I think he still has speed. But I was going to ask y'all a question because I think one of y'all, I think it was Joe, said that I can't remember which one of y'all said y'all like the linebacker room or linebackers are coming along. Does it take a long time for Barham to make an adjustment for the pros? And I know I'm gonna ask this question to Big Time because Big Time, you're a big Michigan fan. So, what do you think about his prospects of coming in and making an impact his first year?
I think he's gonna get the opportunity. That's for sure. He's gonna get on the field, but as I always say, even though I love him at Michigan, this ain't Michigan.
Ain't Michigan, man.
This NFL. You know, it's kind of like Styles. You know, from Washington. You know, some folks wanted him here. And the bottom line is he's a rookie. You got guys, man, offensive coordinators that as a rookie will play on your weaknesses and will specialize plays for that. It's kind of like Styles. You know, the way can you imagine a guy like Sean McVay trying to confuse Sonny Styles? I mean, come on, man. He gonna be your middle linebacker. He gonna run motion and movement and all. I'm saying, like, he's a rookie, and you gonna take advantage of aggression and all that type of stuff. So the jury gonna be out on him to see he's gonna make some plays, but he's a rookie, and we're gonna have to allow him to make some rookie mistakes when he's on the field at times. But I expect him to play well. I just know he's a rookie. This is not playing. You know, you ain't playing Northwestern no more. This ain't not the Big Ten conference, and you're a rookie, and you got guys, man, that specialize in torturing rookies. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Sean, like Ravel. Ravel, I almost consider him a rookie still.
Oh, he's a rookie.
Even though he got on the field, but he rarely got on there. I'm just saying, I think it's gonna be some team that's a coordinator's gonna say, oh yeah, we ain't gonna go at Bland. We're gonna go at Ravel till he proved us that he that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Abdul Carter is the perfect example. At Penn State, we were saying that Abdul Carter looked like the next Michael Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
He got to the Giants, and I thought he had about 3 or 4 sacks, if that many.
He did have a lot of pressures.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't expect him to be defensive rookie of the year. Now, I will say this. I do believe in Caleb Downs being the defensive rookie of the year. I believe in that. Because I just know he's going to make that kind of impact because he's that kind of guy. But, again, he's a rookie. There's going to be some offensive coordinators that's going to find out he's going to be a man and covering slot guys, and they're going to put their slot guy one-on-one with Downs. And guess what? You got some slot guy that's going to tear Caleb Downs up.
That quickness is going to be cold-blooded.
One-on-one. I'm just telling y'all now. But we'll see. You got a lot of this stuff to happen before, because it's not Ohio State no more. You ain't going against Indiana State. You understand? You going against the NFL. You know what I'm talking about. So I think he's going to play well, but I think we got to give him time.
Okay.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Why did Downs go from Alabama to Ohio State? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
Nick Saban left.
Oh, that's what it was?
They changed coaches?
Yeah, you know that Saban left. That was who recruited him. He started as a freshman. Saban left, and they got that dude from Washington, and then he went on to Ohio State.
And the NIL probably was in there too.
Yes. Did y'all see that after Caleb Downs got drafted? Nick Saban, what's the Ohio State coach?
I forgot the
Caleb
ball here.
DeBoer. Caleb DeBoer.
I forgot.
No, that's not him. That's
It's right on top of my
Oh, you
tongue.
said Ohio State coach?
Yeah.
Day.
Ryan Day, yeah.
Did y'all, that was pretty funny. Y'all saw that interaction between him and Saban?
Yeah.
Mm.
They said asked Day about Caleb Downs. You know, when he came up for Alabama, he said, "Yeah, man, he needed a lot of work." You know,
Yeah, he needed a lot of work. Yeah.
that was funny to me, man. He said he needed a lot of work. He had to catch him up on everything.
Yeah.
So I'm watching Downs right now. So going back to what you said, big time. So, we talked about Jimmy Johnson earlier. Like, what would Jimmy do? So this is what Jimmy would do. Jimmy would tell the coaches, "I want these guys on the field, and we're gonna live with whatever they come up with." So I'm playing Lawrence, Caleb Downs for sure. You know what he gonna do. Barham, he gonna get a lot of snaps. Devin Moore, the corner. I'm playing everybody. I'm gonna live with the mistakes. I think we got a good enough team to where we can kind of cover up some of the stuff that they're gonna get involved in. If you got a Barham playing Mike in the middle interior linebacker, and you got Quentin Williams, Clark right in front of you. What's a big tackle that we got from San Diego? He's gonna play
okay. He's gonna be one technique, huh?
Yeah, the one tech. So I think they're gonna be able to cover up some of the stuff, but obviously, if Caleb Downs gets locked on one of these quick receivers, it's gonna be a bad matchup. But most of the time, I think he'll end up being okay. So I'm playing everybody. I'm not this draft class right here. And I'm not a. You guys know I kind of not a big fan of Will McClay, but he said you draft him, you play him. That's what I'm gonna do this year, and just get you a couple of more veterans. But I want to see these guys on the field. I don't really want to do this. Let's draft and develop, and let's wait for year 3 and all of that. No, we need to put these guys out on the field now, and just and see what they can do. Other thing is, some of the stuff we got going on at corner. Ask yourself, do you want to play Kalen Carson or Devin Moore, the rookie you just drafted? I'm playing Devin Moore. You got some other
It's whoever people. Wins, though, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Whoever wins the competition, man.
Just let him compete. That's why I was talking about earlier with Hooker. Just throw them all out there and put them in there and let them compete and the best man win. But these guys are not going anywhere. You just drafted them. So I would figure out a way to get them on the field in situations and let them play. You're not going to have Barham on the field probably in your nickel and dime packages unless you put him on the edge big time. But yeah, I want to see him. I want to see him start out in the middle with Winter and Overshawn and just see how does he do there. But Kel said they're talking about another linebacker. It has to be somebody in the middle. I can't imagine who that would be. She said, oh, by the way, Brooks wouldn't be a June 1st cut because he's under contract, but so she ruled that out.
No, he would have to be by trade. I mean,
yeah.
But that would help.
They have to pay him too. He's probably gonna want a new deal, and that's probably what.
We anytime you get a chance to add an all pro to your team,
yeah,
he's worth it. Again, these are the kind of moves of what you call Super Bowl type moves.
And watch what the Eagles. Watch what the Eagles do next week. So watch what the Eagles do next week. Look at what they're doing. I think the Eagles. You got to look at some of these other teams we're going to be competing against and just see what they do. They start picking up guys and signing guys. Then again, you kind of losing ground. So yeah, they got a couple more moves they got to make. And if they make a couple of good moves, I'm telling you, none of these NFC teams scare me. And they just don't. I think we're going to be San Francisco this year. The Rams, they solid. We got to play them too. So we're a couple of moves away, but what Jerry and Steven do, and we can talk about this with Kels too, they just don't go all in and do those extra moves. They just, they're going to stand pat and they're going to just say, we're going to go, we like our guys, and then you're going to sell yourself short. But yeah, they got a couple more moves they need to make.
Hey man, you said something earlier though, and I think is a seminal moment for this team. If we beat the San Francisco 49ers, that's big to us, man. We can't get over that hump. And they've been beating us, man, in meaningful games and regular season games and everything else. And I'm gonna tell y'all another quiet, but I think y'all might know this. Another team that if we beat the Arizona Cardinals finally,
Well, we're 1-9 against them.
we are 1-9. That is crazy. I bet every time we go against them, we have a better record if we lose to those guys. So if we beat those two guys, I mean, we beat those guys, man. I'm gonna tip my hat to the Cowboys because the 49ers, we can't beat them.
And throw Green Bay in there too.
Oh yeah, Green Bay too. You're right.
We play them up there. We don't know if Mike is gonna play or not. It's gonna be a tough game. I'm gonna say this right here. What I'm really confident in. Last year we had Matt Eberflus. We had some big games on our schedule where the coaching staff should have been fired up. The players. We went to Chicago. I was like, what's happening here? How was this not a big game for your defense, your defensive coordinator? We played the Packers on was it a Sunday night game? So Michael Parsons returns to AT&T Stadium. What does our defense do? We give up 50 points basically.
Yeah,
that was a big game. So what I said all that to say this. I think that when Christian Parker goes up against the Eagles twice this year, he's gonna have his defense ready to play. Now I don't know what we're gonna do, but they're gonna be ready to play, and they're gonna play tough. When we go to Green Bay this year, I think we'll be ready. San Fran. So I think the coaching staff that we have right now, they probably understand these games, B-Bird, and they're gonna do exactly what we're doing. Christian Parker, he's gonna know the Cowboys and the 49ers is a big game.
Yeah.
So again, he's gonna have his defense ready to play, and we don't know what the outcome is gonna be. So I feel a whole lot better about the coaches. I just think some of the coaches that we done had in here, it's just like, McCarthy was a former Green Bay coach. He didn't have his team ready to play against his old team.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, and McCarthy, you the head coach of the Cowboys. You never had your team ready to play the 49ers. That's unacceptable. So, that's kind of my thoughts there.
Let me I looked this up, and this is, if we're looking for a little hopium, here's your hopium. I looked this up, and I just wanted to know, because I always said, but I didn't have the numbers to against the bag of what I was saying, so I finally got it. The Cowboys, man, defense last year made teams punt the ball 50 times.
That's crazy.
Last year, which was tied for 30th in the league. The Houston Texans was the number one defense in the league last year. They made teams punt the ball 81 times. So 81 times, which is an average of making a team punt the ball 5 times. The Cowboys averaged last year made teams punt the ball. It would average out to be 3 times a game, which means on all the possessions there were points. The Cowboys average giving up at least 3 points per drive. And if you're only making a team punt the ball 3 times a game, obviously you had no defense. So your hopium is, obviously, you just know that Parker is going to have this defense a whole lot better than that. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be a top 10 defense. I'm not saying we're going to be number 1, but I am saying that we will not be the 32nd ranked defense in the league next year. It's just no way. And if we would have made, and I'm just saying, y'all, in the chat, I'm just saying, I'm looking at the Houston Texans made team. That was number 1 at 81. Yeah. The second place team was the New England Patriots, and they was at 66. Do you see how good Houston was? 81 to 66. That's the second. I mean, that's why I think it was 14 points a game they gave up.
Crazy,
I mean, that's incredible.
Their quarterback played terrible. They still in game.
New England's a good defense, but what I'm saying is, if we would have just made teams punt the ball a couple times more, that would have been the difference because the offense was outstanding. We could have won at least about 2 to 3 more games last year.
You could have won the Detroit game.
You could have won. I mean, just forget one game. I'm just talking about you could have won the Detroit game. You could have won the Arizona game. You could have won all. You could have won a few of these games that we didn't, other than we get blowed out. It's just, I'm just saying, simple things like that is the reason why I got way more hope than I had last year, because I know that this defense is going to be better. And if we just middle of the pack, if we right at 13 or 14, we cooking. That's all I'm going to tell you right now.
So let me tell you this, though. I often talk about the front office not having urgency. And I don't necessarily think the head coach has it either, because he kind of like, got this job, I'm making this money. This is what I always wanted. But can I tell you who does have urgency? The offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. Why? Because they want to show out so they can get head coaching jobs. So they ain't trying to sit around here and just like, I'm just going to sit here and just do whatever and just be mediocre. No, they're trying to stand out. So Christian Parker knows if I come in here and I make this a top 12, 13 defense, man.
Oh, he's on.
And this team goes to the championship game, I'm going to get my accolades, and man, they're going to be looking. I'm going to be on the radar for a head coaching job, if not next year, the year after.
I can tell you right now where you're going. You know where you're going, right? Christian Park, when he become a head coach.
Where is that?
The Eagles.
Oh.
Because what's his name going to get fired, and they're going to hire Christian Parker. He's going to be their next head coach. I was going to tell you, we can talk about this next week. This special teams thing is bizarre. I don't understand why they kept the coach. It's just really weird that they would keep him. We had one of the worst special teams in the league, and they brought him back. He was horrible, Sorensen. But
I don't know if he was horrible or was just Turpin horrible.
Turpin was bad last year.
Turpin was horrible.
Decision making terrible, man.
But the coverage,
it was Turpin to me. Turpin didn't do what he's supposed to do.
He let the ball bounce to the one.
But our coverage teams are bad too. And I was gonna go back to some you were saying talking about Houston earlier. So I hope Christian Parker and Shadi is watching our show. That Houston game, that's gonna be a big game for them. Oh, don't go in there like it's a regular game. You're gonna get smoked.
They hate us, man. I'm down.
That's gonna be a huge game. We're playing in Houston. Be ready for that game, because if you're not ready big time, you're gonna get smoked. I don't like CJ Stroud, but defensively, they could just shut us out if you're not ready to play.
Yeah, it's good that we're, when you start saying Houston, what kind of defense they're going to present, you start talking about the 49ers. I heard you mention the Packers. I heard you mention Arizona, who always play us like it's a Super Bowl. Their Super Bowl. We're playing Seattle this year, the world champions. And then, of course, bottom line, we got our division.
The Ravens.
We're playing a bunch of beat you up football teams this year.
Man,
so if you can make it through the gauntlet, when we get to the playoffs, we shouldn't get punked out like we always do by a bully-like team, because we're seeing that. We're playing Baltimore early. You know what I'm saying? These are teams that traditionally would knock you in your mouth and get you, stand you up and knock you again in your mouth again. So when you look at the schedule as a whole, you're gonna be battle tested if you can make it through it, which is good for us. I agree with you 100%, Joe. And even if you are right, if your offense ain't clicking, because Houston can make a real good offense look bad. I'm just calling it like it is. You better be ready, and because if not, you're gonna get your head beat in real quick. So I agree with you on that. But I think that's one thing that the schedule does when you look at it. We playing some real dogs early, We got them in the middle. We got them at the end. That Monday night game against Seattle in Seattle is going to be electric.
Play
You know
the
what I'm saying?
Rams. The Rams out there.
Where the Rams.
It's gonna be a home game for us, right?
Come on. Look, these are teams. I forgot about to call the Rams out. You already know it as long as McVay is there, so you know what time it is. So
if Puka hadn't got kicked out of the league by then,
Puka be all right. He gonna be all right. Puka, they gonna keep him in. You know, he'll be there.
But yeah, we gonna have a playoff game every week though. It's a playoff.
Look, if they ain't done nothing to Mike Vrabel.
not yet.
Nobody. You know what I'm saying? You got to do. Now they're gonna do something to Josh Jacobs though. Now Josh Jacobs make it.
Yeah,
you know, unless this girl come out and say he didn't do that, and you know you can't hard to say that since he got arrested for it. But Josh gonna he gonna get disciplined by the league. That's if he play in Green Bay. I may add, they might let him go after that stuff there. But that's another whole.
But back to the schedule, it's gonna be a playoff game pretty much every week, every other week. So
which is what you need. You want to be the best. You gotta play like the best. It's the bottom line. It is what it is. Y'all got any more?
That's it for me, brother.
I think we good.
All right, go plug your channel, Joe.
Let me pull it up. I have to always read it. That New York game is gonna be tough too. That first one, they got a little controversy. You know,
we're gonna take care of them.
You think we're gonna take care of them?
That's tradition, man. We always do that.
I think we're gonna get them mainly because you don't know what to prepare for.
Yeah,
I mean, because nobody knows what Christian Parker is gonna do. There's no tape of him, so he really get the wheel and deal on this kid, on this young quarterback. I just see a mismatch there for the first week because you don't know what he gonna do.
Malik Neighbors might not be back either at that time. Malik
Neighbors, yeah. He might not be back.
So our channel is called Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talk. So it's a channel that my son started, and if you guys will, watching the show that's in the chat, go over to our channel and subscribe. We kind of stuck. I think we had like 347 subscribers. We've been there for a while. So go over there and check us out, Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talk, or you can just say Fastcast, FASCAST. And then you can follow me on Twitter at CowboyJoe64. I'm kind of active on Twitter, not as much as I used to be. So check us out. We're trying to grow our channel. We're going to come back in the fall and do some different things that my son is working on. And so he's a student and trying to do a lot of stuff and promote our channel as well. We got a video we're working on. We're trying to get it done. And so it's going to be kind of fun. We'll let you guys know about that when we finish it. It's something interesting that we have, something unique about us with the Cowboy fandom situation. So check us out. Go subscribe to our channel. And, of course, subscribe to B-Bird's channel. And we'll toss it to you, B-Bird.
Yeah, so it's B-Bird Cowboy. That's the same handle on YouTube and X. I am a little bit more active on X. But, yeah, subscribe to my channels, whichever one y'all want to get on, or both, preferably. But we just want to say appreciate the chat tonight, all the great information, Kales, that you've been giving us. We definitely appreciate that. And hey, appreciate sharing time, my brothers again, man. I appreciate y'all brothers and this platform that we have here, man. Look forward to getting on with y'all again.
Appreciate all of you guys that are in the chat again. I echo what B-Bird just said. My channel is the Big Time Show. Pretty much on every platform: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X. Just search out the Big Time Show and follow all of that. Appreciate all you guys. The OGs have done it again. Next time we come on, we will be talking about what we've heard and seen so far from OTAs. I'm quite sure all the content, this has kind of been a dead period for all of us. We've pretty much been talking about the same things over
Yeah.
and over again. But now things are about to get just a little bit interesting now. And
Yeah.
there's questions that are going to be answered immediately. And we'll take it on from there. A few things to watch out for. Let's kind of see how Ravel and Bland are looking.
Yep.
Let's see how they moving around. Let's see what Tyler Guyton, what he looks like. As everybody want to talk about him. Let's see what Overshown looks like. Let's see where he is. And then of course when we get on the offensive side, of course, Guyton. Let's look and see, of course, where Pickens is. If he's there, if he's practicing, whatever the case may be. Lot of interesting stuff going to be happening.
You forgot Schoonmaker.
Together, what's going to be happening. But lock in, I'm quite sure Joe and his son and B-Bird will be doing their own individual shows. I'll be doing mine. And then we all come together again for the OG podcast, probably next Friday or either that Saturday of next week. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all. We out of here. This has been the one and the only Cowboys OG podcast. We'll holler at y'all. See y'all next week.
Guys.